You are Locked On Heat Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Miami on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's up, Heat fan? Welcome to your Heat Postcast. My name is Jim Grieshaber. Call me Gries, G-R-I-E-S, at Jim Gries _, on social media, right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. And tonight, tonight, 105-102, the Charlotte Hornets come into Miami and steal one in the fourth quarter. Sound familiar? Yeah, I know. It's been the narrative lately for the Miami Heat with the Knicks game last weekend, and they got one win with the Wizards on Monday, but then it's at Cleveland. Then it's home for Minnesota. Then it's the Bulls on Saturday again for the second time after they had already smoked them once in the fourth quarter in Chicago. They did it again in Miami, and then tonight, it's the lowly, and I repeat, lowly Charlotte Hornets. I mean, they are bad. How bad are the Charlotte Hornets? I don't want to even talk about how bad they are because your night's already bad enough as it is with this game and this team and everything that they've been putting you through lately. So here we are, Heat Postcast, Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day, bringing it to you, giving you the real, and we'll explain what happened. We'll give you the numbers behind the stink bomb of this game tonight. We'll give you the stars of the game. They won't be wearing Miami Heat colors, I'll tell you that. And then, of course, all the graphics you look forward to. The turning point of the game, wonder what that one will be. Another fourth quarter stinker for Miami. And just, time after time, it's a Cyndi Lauper song for the Miami Heat right now. It was the Knicks. They had two 19-point leads in the second half of that game. They squeeze a win in against the Wizards. They go to Cleveland. They're right there with the Cavs, the best team in the East. Throughout the fourth quarter, had a fourth quarter lead there as well. And then, of course, Saturday against the Bulls, after Friday against the Wolves, and they did a great job on Anthony Edwards, by the way. Excuse me just a second. They did a great job on Anthony Edwards that game and really limited him and shut him down, and still were unable to come away with the win. All right, you're watching Heat Postcast. Tonight's episode is brought to you by, you guys know how much I love them, FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. $200 in bonus bets. All you have to do is hit a $5 winner at FanDuel, title sponsor of tonight's show. And again, 105-102, the final here. And I have a lot of notes written. I have different ways I have them here. Look, this is me covering a game. It's kind of fun. You're all over the place, right, when you're doing a postcast and a post-game show. For real, you really are. And I got a couple more things to upload as well as we get closer to the time when we open the envelopes and reveal your stars of the game and things of that nature. So we have that. I have this open right here throughout the whole game right there, just showing you the box score and everything back and forth from the box score to the play-by-play to the team stats. The recap's up there now. We'll get to that in just a second. That one just hit. Miles Bridges was the difference in this game, 35 points. But Miami keeps falling apart in the fourth quarter. They fall apart in fourth quarters. Charlotte had a 10-0 run in the fourth. They had a 14-0 run in the third. Miami wasn't getting to the line. They're turning the ball over. But the biggest thing for Miami, and Spo said it the other night in his post-game presser, the biggest thing for Miami is things that happen on offense leading to bad defense. Now, normally you might say, hey, the other way around. Things that might happen on defense get you kind of out of your comfort zone, make bad things happen on offense. Not for this team. All right? They're still doing the same thing every night. It's almost a carbon copy. Dr. Joe Dispenza. Your body is the mind, and every day your body takes over, and you do 98% of the things that you did the previous day the very next day, over and over and over again, repeat. It takes a very special few select people, you know what I mean? And I've been through a lot of the training, with personality coaching and strength coaching and just, personal growth, man, to get into that other 98%, change the narrative day in and day out. The Heat aren't able to do that right now. The Heat, it's the same thing every game. They race out to a big lead. You look like world beaters in the first quarter. In the first half tonight, Andrew Wiggins dominates the first quarter. Bam Adebayo dominates the second quarter. Those two dudes go into halftime with 14 and 13, respectively. Bam's a couple rebounds away from a double-double. At intermission, you're going, damn, this team looks really good. But they had done this before. It's fool's gold. What happens in the fourth quarter is almost like they forget how to execute. And execute meaning, yeah, they forget how to go for the kill too. But in terms of execution, offensively, and then that leads to poor defensive possessions, which allow penetration, open threes in transition. And man, Miles Bridges killing them tonight. And so did Mark Williams, by the way. And Mark Williams is the center who Charlotte traded to the Lakers. The Lakers thought they were getting their big man. Remember, well, they traded, you thought Dalton Connect, right? Remember, to Charlotte for him, and they said he didn't pass his physical. Well, he looked pretty damn physical tonight. 24 and 10 for Charlotte, and then 35 for Bridges. So for the Hornets, rather, by the way. So Williams, 24 and 10 for Charlotte. Bridges, 35 for Charlotte. But he had like 13 points in the fourth quarter. Man, Bridges, Eric Reed said it throughout the telecast tonight too. Bridges is an elite player in the NBA. If they get anybody with him, I mean, Chuck and Duck of LaMelo Ball, he's just, I don't want to mention his name, but the third time in March alone that Miami lost a game after leading by at least 17 points. If that's not it in a nutshell right there, right? We've talked about this time and time again. It's the fourth quarter. It's the execution, and we talk about this. Eric Spoelstra said it the other night in the press conference. And while you're here, by the way, smash that subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we're coming your way with more content, and come on into the chat and say hello. But Spo says it all the time, and he said it again, reiterated it after the game the other night. And I got too much fuzz to not, but look at this hat. Snazzy little Locked On Podcast Network. You can order these, by the way. Check it out. And by the way, you get a free newsletter, Locked On Heat Daily Newsletter. How about that? You got your Locked On Heat podcast, but how about your Locked On Heat Daily Newsletter? You get it free, and all you have to do, all you have to do is go to lockedondaily.com and download it. And it comes into your inbox. I'm registered, of course, for the Heat and several other teams, but it come into your inbox every day. So it's Heat and league coverage. It's free. It's in your inbox every day. There you have it. You got to have it. You got to have it on this episode brought to you by FanDuel. Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease, GRIES, 105-102, the final. Bam faded again in the second half in the fourth quarter. Bam Adebayo misses a wide open three that would have tied the game. Bam misses open three. Heat lose fourth in a row, 105-102 to Charlotte. Could be one headline, the Heat falling apart. Could be another headline. You know, there's so many headlines right now that that are in effect, and so many things that you could say about this game. But we'll get them down by the end. I mean, maybe we'll have another one. We already have the disaster strikes again up there on the YouTube thumbnail. But, I mean, that's kind of what it is, right? It is disaster striking again. I do believe. I mean, is it not? I feel like it's disaster striking again. So, by the way, I'm entering the studio from my phone. So there, real quick, mute this. There we go. All right, we got a double angle. We got a dual angle here. Got a dual angle of the show for a moment. But Bam missed a wide open three. Wiggins from the right wing had a three, looked a little bit contested. And as Wiggins is about to take it, I'm going, oh, man. I'm going, oh, no, because I could see Wiggins thought about taking the shot, but then he looked and he was going to pass to Bam. And as he was going to, look at this, 2-camera shot here on the show. As he was going to pass to Bam, and I'm doing all this just to upload something for you to see. And I had to put myself on the screen for some reason to do it. But look at this. I mean, this is unbelievable. We have a 2-camera shoot right in the middle of the show, 105, 102. This is innovation in the live streaming field. We're doing this right now live here on the show. I mean, check this out. This is unbelievable, except the overlay is not wanting to upload so I can show you here. Oh, here we go. It's coming. It's coming. And we're going to have some numbers to show you too as well. This is my way of telling you that I do not know how to upload this without, because I'm uploading it from my phone while I'm on the show on my computer, because you're using computers, you're using phones, you're using all sorts of things. I don't know what else there is possibly. I mean, there's nothing left. We have no rabbit ears going. That's about it. And if you guys remember rabbit ears back in the day, we just need this one more thing to upload to show you, and we will be good to go. But it does not seem to want to cooperate. So Might have to try it again. Oh, there it goes. It's going to hit for me. And then as soon as it does, I'll take myself out of the shot. But powers that be, if you're watching, what do you think, right? There's one camera. There's the other one. How about that? Boom. Right next to each other in stereo, but that would be sound, right? Not visual. So there we go. And we just made Locked On Podcast Network history. Speaking of the Locked On Podcast Network, look at this hat. Soon you'll be able to order it. Not quite yet, but hey, it's called The Build. The anticipation is building. Kind of like the Heat. You think that they're going to win every single game, and they're at home. The crowd's going crazy. Look, the Knicks didn't have Cat. You had to win that game. You started a bad precedent. Wiggins missed all those games with a sprained ankle. Jaquez missed as well. And so you have guys missing games. You have all sorts of things going on. But at the end of the day, really, what does it really matter, right? You have to win these games. And the Knicks game, they don't have Cat. Miami has 2 19-point leads in the second half. They don't close the game out. They lose. No Cat, Knicks, heated rival. Something's off in that rotation. Something's going on. Rozier so aggressive on defense. Can't hit anything offensively, but defensively, you almost have to have him out there. With Davion Mitchell, you have great, great defenders. All world. Never mind all league, all world defense. And that's why you're in these games. Like, you know what I mean? This is what Tony Robbins will tell you. This is what the great business and growth and potential coaches will tell you. You know what they'll tell you? They will tell you a ton of things, but they will tell you one thing concretely and for sure. Your greatest strength is also your biggest weakness, right? What do I mean by that? Davion Mitchell, Terry Rozier out there at the same time playing defense. What does that mean? It means that you also have them on offense and they can't score. So the reason you're in the game is their defense, and the reason you can't score and pull away from the other team is because they're in the game. So what are you going to do if you're Spo? You don't have the versatility. I heard the Locked On Heat guys talking about it earlier. By the way, shout out Locked On Heat. Those guys are phenomenal. I think it was Wes who said it today. You don't have the versatility on this roster. He said the Heat don't have 3 top 100 players in the NBA. They have 2. They have 2, and it is what it is, right? So when you think about that, you really need to get to that point and realize that I just made myself very late for a break. But 105-102, the Heat lose tonight again to the Charlotte Hornets. I got carried away on that one. Jim Grieshaber, call me. Grease still to come. Stars of the game. Of course, the turning point, final score graphic, and we get you ready for the next, it's the Clippers. Dare we even preview it? What a way to lose, and they keep doing it time and time again. What keeps happening to the Heat? I'll tell you in just a second on the other side. Heat Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. NBA fans, get ready. They swoosh, you save. Thanks to Dash Pass, every time a player drops 50 or more on the NBA hardwood, you score a huge deal the next day. What do I mean by that? Well, it's simple. Very, very simple. When any player scores 50 or more in a game during the 24-25 NBA regular season, Dash Pass members get 50% off an order, up to $10 off the next day from noon to midnight. Here are a few ways you can take advantage of this deal. How about a game day feast? After an epic 50-point performance, celebrate by ordering wings, pizza, burgers from your favorite spot, delivered straight to your door. How about a late night craving? Whether you're staying up watching highlights, maybe you just need a midnight snack, use Dash Pass to grab something delicious while saving big. Maybe you want lunch on the go the next day, or maybe not on the go. Maybe you're at your office, maybe you're at home. Whatever the case may be, a quick and easy lunch, boom. With Dash Pass, you get your favorite meals with no delivery fees, reduced service fees, plus now you save even more with this exclusive NBA offer. And my favorite is fueling your watch party. Planning to catch the next game? Of course you are. Order your go-to snacks and meals at a discount and get ready for more high-scoring action. Sign up for Dash Pass and be ready to save. When any player scores 50 or more in a game, Dash Pass members get 50% off an order the next day, up to $10 off again. When any player scores 50 or more in a game, you get 50% off an order the next day, up to $10 off between 12 noon and 12 midnight. If you are a Dash Pass member, you use the code NBA50, noon to midnight, after a 50-point game on eligible orders of participating merchants. Just have an active DoorDash account. Terms apply. Visit DoorDash to learn more. Again, one more time for your mind, 50% off from noon to midnight the next day after any NBA player scores 50 points or more in a game if you're a Dash Pass member with the code NBA50 from DoorDash. There you go. They can never say I don't put passion in it. They can never say that about me. No, you can't say that away from me. Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease, the worst Sinatra impersonation you have ever heard. At least I'm good for something. Right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Look, 105, 102. We might be like injecting Xanax straight into our eyeballs if I weren't trying to be funny at this point. Would we not be? I mean, Xanax through the eyeballs seems like a logical choice at this point after watching this team. You know what I'm saying? I mean, how many times, Miami? And Spo the other night said it's not a problem. It's a damn big problem. It's a huge problem, okay? At this point, I mean, there is absolutely no getting around it anymore. There's not. Miami has lost a league-high 16 games. Are you ready? 16 games when holding a double-digit lead. Your Miami Heat have lost 16 of them. That is an NBA high. How about this? They have lost 12 games. Now, 12. In addition to the 16 games they've lost when holding a double-digit lead, they have lost 12 games when leading entering the fourth quarter, tonight being one of them. 12. Let me let that sink in. 12 times. 16 times when holding a double-digit lead. 12 times when leading heading into the fourth quarter. And they are 8-12 in games decided by 5 points or fewer. They've lost 5 straight and 6 of the last 7 of said contest, which is now a stat on NBA.com, by the way, the clutch stat. And the Heat were 26th, Hornets 27th in that clutch stat coming into tonight's game. Look, how bad was it tonight for Miami? What was the score at the end of the third? It was 77-73. Heat, what was it at halftime? 58-52, Miami. What was it at the end of one? 34-21. You sensing a trend here? They cut it in half at the end of one. It's always that first quarter. Wiggins comes out on fire. Toward the end, it's Bam. Then into the second quarter they go, and those two guys combine for 27 in the first half. Tyler starting off cold and slow. Second half, Tyler picks it up in the third as the Heat's lead goes away. The Hornets are on a 14-0 run. Sound familiar? You could get a smack for this. I ain't no joke. That's what I'm saying. You know, look at this. Miami and Charlotte, just terrible clutch teams. 2 17-point leads for Miami in the first half again. You know what I mean? So Charlotte with a huge run, 30-19, and then a 14-0 run within the middle of that run. Just a mini burst within that run to take their first lead of the game at 67-66. It is a carbon copy, a blueprint. Again and again, it's Groundhog Day. I'm waiting for Bill Murray to pop out at center court. You know what I mean? It is what it is, and Mark Williams is dunking all over him, and Charlotte's moving the ball offensively and looking good with their cuts, with their screens, very fluid with the ball and their passes. All of a sudden, they're not turning the ball over, and Charlotte was disastrous from three-point land for 95% of this game until Bridges hit those couple late. And then, of course, Bam airballed the three with 5 seconds left, and Wiggins passed on the wing three. Too much unselfish play in today's NBA. Wiggins needed to take that shot. He needed to take that dang shot. He's a much better three-point shooter than Bam. Passing it to Bam at the top of the key, although it looks tempting always to give it to an open teammate. Bad idea, man. Bam freezes, throws the air ball. He's running out of gas, been carrying the team, playing extra minutes, defense, deflections. The man is unbelievable. He has the highest box-out rate and screen rate in the NBA. You don't know those things. Now you do. All right? That's the point of listening to your Heat Postcast. My name is Jim Grieshaber. Call me Grease. I mean, look, you really can't explain it in any other ways than I've been doing every single night. So just watch this one, watch the other ones, go back. I mean, the Heat podcast guys, day in and day out, they're doing the same. Me with the postcast, the newsletter at LockedOnDaily.com. You go in your inbox in the morning, and what are you getting there about the Heat? Another fourth quarter lead blown. And that's what they've done on this stretch. They did it against the Knicks. They did it against the Cavs on the road. They came back home, did it against T-Wolves and the Bulls back-to-back. And then, of course, tonight. So what does that mean? They've lost 4 in a row. They've lost 5 out of 6. They're free falling in the standings. You know what I mean? So there you have it. All right, Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease. I need to be on time for this break, and we need to be on time with the show with you, because you guys come to expect greatness from us at the Locked On Podcast Network. And no matter how good the content is, we need to keep it on point. So very, very excited about the game tonight, just to try to fix this with you live. Like, what can we do? as, the basketball equivalent of backseat drivers. Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease. It's Heat Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day, stars of the game, turning point, that final score graphic, and a look ahead when we wrap it up. Un momento, por favor. Heat Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Oh, baby, what time is it? And I'm always saying what time it is as what time on the clock, but I'm not talking about the clock right now. I'm talking about time of year. March Madness is here, and FanDuel is giving you the chance to get in on the action like never before. I'm always talking about the action within the action with FanDuel, and March Madness is the perfect time of year for this. And right now, hey, sure, tomorrow, because new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. That's 200 extra bucks to use on everything from buzzer beaters to Cinderella stories. I just did Dr. Evil with Bill Murray from Caddyshack. I'll be okay. And even who's cutting down the nets. Yes, you could bet on that too. I love to pick my favorites at FanDuel. I've got my eyes on you on a few underdogs this year, and FanDuel makes it easy to back them with spreads, totals, game props, and more. I stay in the action. With tournament games happening almost every day, all day, there's always something exciting to bet on. It's easy and fast. The FanDuel app is simple to use, and when I win, I get paid right away so I can get more action on the action. No waiting around for that dinero with FanDuel. So visit FanDuel.com. Get in on the college hoops action all tournament long with FanDuel. On the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease. Excited to be here as always. Man, 105-102 the score tonight, and another way for the Miami Heat to lose a game in the fourth quarter. Look, it's time and time again for your Miami Heat. I love to go to NBA.com and check out their insights while I'm doing the show. The camera's in my face the whole time. We're live, and while you're here, say a prayer. I don't even know if that's a song, but I want to say to you that you're in the chat room, leaving me comments. Who's in there saying what's up today? Miami Heat Zone. I promise you, my brother, that question you asked me, I promise you. Nothing but love and the occasional, like falling apart at the seams here. Nothing on you. But yeah, 105-102, the Hornets took the bag tonight. The Hornets took the bag. Look, the Heat are fumbling the bag. We'll do a Gen Z show. We'll do a Gen A show. Well, Gen A's. I love Gen A. But anyway, no, we'll do a Gen A show. We'll do a Gen Z show. We'll do a no one wants to do a millennial show. But what I mean is, I'm just kidding, millennials. I love you. What I'm trying to say is the Heat fumbled the bag. They fumbled it against the Knicks, 2 19-point leads in the second half. They fumbled it on the road on Wednesday against the Cavs. Best team in the East, but the Heat had that game. Couple of shots down the stretch to really seize control and put that one away. Couldn't do it, didn't do it, right? And then what? What's next? 2 in a row at home, Friday and Saturday. Wolves, Bulls, back-to-back, same thing. You hold Anthony Edwards in check all night Friday, you let them beat you down the stretch. Other guys. Same thing Saturday with the Bulls. It's Giddey, you know what I mean? And it's Kobe White. Those two guys, Josh Giddey and Kobe White, you let those guys demolish you. You see where I'm going here? It was Brunson against the Knicks. It was Donovan Mitchell against the Cavs with Garland. It was, you know what I mean? That was more Naz Reid against the Wolves. But then Saturday against the Bulls, it was the backcourt. Tonight, who was it? Bridges. Who else? They didn't need anybody else. It was Williams, actually. So Tyler and Bam getting worked late in games. Are they playing too many minutes? Are they relying too much on them? No, and 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 no, 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 no. Ask Pat Riley that question. You risk dismemberment. Dismemberment. Death or dismemberment, courtesy of Pat Riley. Oh, my Lord. Absolutely crazy. And I actually am... this is the first time you've heard me say this. This is the first time you've heard me, Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease, Gries, at Jim Grease _ on social media. And I don't know why we have a little bit of lag with the logos tonight on the spots, so please bear with me on that, but apologize. I think I just got audited too, because people jump on right at a break and then they jump off and you're like, oh, hey, they're checking it out. But it's cool. So anyway, now you know what it's all about. But it really is, back-to-back 3-pointers from Bridges. Bam's got to hit that 3 and force overtime there. I mean, obvious for me to say, but you cannot throw an air ball. You got to at least draw iron, man. You got to at least back rim it. You got to get enough on it and under it. And he just doesn't have the leg strength right now. And, air ball's the wide open 3. I talked about the fourth quarter numbers, and it bears repeating. So let me do this again for you. Here, I'll take that hat off for you. I wanted to advertise the network a little bit. You're welcome. There we go. Let's see. Okay, so here we go. We will see. All right, here you go. So the Miami Heat right now, okay? Here, let me just put this right there so I can. Again, we're live here and camera in your face for a half hour straight. Okay, so there we go. 16 games when holding a double-digit lead. The Miami Heat have lost. They have lost 16 games when they've held a double-digit lead. And they have lost 12 games when leading entering the fourth quarter. Now, that's 13 counting tonight. So 17 games when holding a double-digit lead, 13 games when entering the fourth quarter, and 8 and 13 in games decided by 5 points or fewer. And that means they've lost 5 straight and now 6 out of 7. So, again, they've lost a league-high 17 games when holding a double-digit lead, 12 games when leading entering the fourth quarter, 13 rather, when entering the fourth quarter, and they're 8 and 13 in games decided by 5 points or fewer, 5 straight and 6 out of 7. All right, let's get to it, shall we? We shall. I don't even know if and you know what we're talking about. We're going to do the box score and the team stats. We're going to do that right now, and then we're going to hit you with you know what. We're going to get you the stars of the game, the final score graphic, the turning point. And, man, I wanted to make Bam Adebayo a star of the game. But delete overlay. Sorry, Bam. And even Tyler, it's like, bro, you know what? No, delete. We're deleting that. There's 1 star of this game, and he's not a Heat player, and it is what it is. They get mad at me when I do this. Not they being locked on, but some of the people I know within the Heat organization still. I covered them for years, and they're like, we're going to turn this around. I mean, it's over, but you're not right now. Right now, you've literally lost 4 in a row in miserable fashion. The last 3 in a row at home, okay? And in a stretch where you're getting a ton of home games because you played so many road games earlier, more than any other team in the league, you're not taking advantage at all of these home games. And now you lost to the Knicks, okay? And that was last weekend, right? So you lose to the Knicks on Sunday, I believe. Maybe it was Saturday, whatever it was. It makes no difference. I think it was last Sunday. And then like 8 days ago. And then you come back the next night, you beat Washington. Congratulations. Everybody beats Washington. Then on Wednesday, you go to Cleveland. You play great against the East number 1 seed. You can't pull it out. No harm, no foul there. Okay, big deal. You got all the confidence in the world coming back home. You got the Wolves. They're also a 7 seed. So are you. By the way, you're either a 9 or a 10 now. I digress. You shut down Anthony Edwards. You find a way to blow that game. You had a double-digit lead in the third quarter there. You blow it late. Same thing against the Bulls on Saturday. Dominate them for 3 quarters the way you did in Chicago a month earlier. They come back, smoke you in the fourth, win that game. Another bad comeback loss for Miami. And tonight against the lowly Hornets, you think you're going to do what you did against the Wizards? No, you're not. The same thing happens again. And it's literally the same blueprint. They forget how to execute offensively in the fourth quarter. And then what happens? So somebody misses a screen. There's a bad pass. People don't look like they want to shoot. Wiggins gives it up to an open Bam instead of taking a 3 himself. But hard to pick on Wiggy for that. Can't you see sometimes your words just hypnotize me or your passes just hypnotize me in that case? But on a night when Charlotte couldn't hit anything from 3, they were terrible. I'll give you the stats in a minute. Miami just couldn't get it done. All right, real quick for your Miami Heat, 23 and 14 for Bam, who had 17 and 8 at halftime. He also had 8 assists, but he had 6 at halftime. 19.7 rebounds for Wiggins. He had 13 points at halftime. 21 points for Tyler Hero, but he was 1 of 5 from 3 and didn't do anything down the stretch again when they needed him. Duncan Robinson, 4 of 9 and 3 of 7 for 3. He had 14 points, 8 straight games in double figures off the bench. For Duncan, I believe either 7 or 8. I think it's 8. I might be adding games because, oh, my Lord, this has been painful lately because every game looks and seems and feels the same. Tell me they don't. Big lead, drop a little in the second quarter. Third quarter, the other team has a big run. Then we have a big run. And the fourth quarter, you see, repeat, blow it down the stretch, repeat. That's what they've been doing. All right, now, for Charlotte, really 3 guys. LaMelo Ball, 15 and 10, but he was 5 of 21, and he was 2 of 12 from 3 with a trash line. LaMelo Ball, just an absolute trash line and a trash game from LaMelo Ball. And it just, you know what I mean? Just the way that they ask him to do things within the scheme of their offense is just, but he just can't shoot, man. 5 of 21. I almost feel bad for the kid sometimes. Mark Williams, 24-10. I guess the Lakers missed on that one. He could be playing with LeBron and Luka right now, but they said he didn't pass his physical. Well, he has 24-10, looked physical enough to me. And then, yeah, how about we'll just do this now then? The player of the game, the star of the show, Miles Bridges, man. My grandson's about to be named Miles. How great is that? So how can you go wrong with a name like that? So our star of the game, and with a name like Miles, hey, my grandson's about to be named Miles. I just said that. Saying it again. My grandson's about to be named Miles. Your star of the game is Miles Bridges. You cannot go wrong with a name like Miles. And Bridges did not go wrong tonight, let me tell you. Miles Bridges killed the Heat. I don't know why I'm laughing. That was a creepy laugh. But Miles Bridges down the stretch hit 2 threes, 2 free throws, 35 points for him. All right, real quick, as we get on out, let's look at the team stats, okay? 45% shooting for the Heat, 41 for Charlotte. The three-pointers, 10 of 31 for Miami, 11 of 44 for Charlotte. Excuse me. Free throws, Miami just 14 of 20. Got to get there more often and more frequently and make more. Charlotte 22 of 23. Therein lies your ball game. The field goal, the free throw, number of free throws taken in, the percentage there. I said it. 46-36. The Heat out rebounded them. Assists about even, steals about even. Turnovers, Miami had 16 leading to 19 Charlotte points. The Hornets had 10 leading to 14 Heat points. When Miami loses that stat, they almost always lose the game. Points in paint almost even as well. The Heat again had the 17-point lead. So again, I remind you as we throw up the turning point real quick before we get on out of here. There it is. Another fourth quarter flame out by the Miami Heat. Oops, they did it again. And it's just become awful at this point because the Miami Heat, real quick, have lost a league high 16 games when holding a double-digit lead, 13 games when leading entering the fourth quarter, 12 since January 2nd. I think Jimmy Butler likes that one. And then 8-13 is their record in games decided by 5 points or fewer. That would be in the clutch. 5 straight L's, 6 of the last 7 there, 2 for Miami. All right, one more thing as we give you the final score. Boom. 105-102. There's LaMelo Ball shooting over Tyler. I figured I'd leave you with that image because if you weren't nauseous enough already, this will do the trick. And I will tell you mercifully, Heat fans, that's all there is. There is no more. My tribute to one of my great mentors, the Mad Dog, Jim Mandich. Until next time, my name is Jim Grieshaber. Call me Grease. We're going to stick to it. We have what they call stick-to-itiveness. The Heat do too. The effort's there. They look great in the first halves. That run in the third quarter, the 7-0 run, they look fantastic. Rozier and Mitchell on defense, good luck scoring on them. Also, good luck scoring with them. That's a big part of the problem. Biggest strength, biggest weakness. They converge, you know what I'm saying? And they just smash like 2 Rams, and then you're just standing there going, you know what I mean? And so that's what happens, all right? Give us a subscribe. Hit the bell so you know when we're coming your way with more. Of course, come on in and say what's up in the chat. The Miami Heat lose again. The Knicks got them. The Cavs got them. The Wolves got them. The Bulls got them. And now the Hornets got them too. In between, they got one win against the Wizards. It's the Wizards. Yeah, on Wednesday, it's the Clippers' turn, and we'll see what happens there. Let's see what time that tip is when the Clippers come into town. It will be an 8 o'clock tip in the MIAO. That's a national TV game. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Maybe they can turn things around. And again, Wiggins was out for a while. They had all the injuries with Ware and Jovic still out. So maybe with the full team practicing almost minus Jovic and Wiggins finding his role more, things will change a bit. But every time Jimmy Butler's laughing up the court with Steph Curry and Draymond Green, you got to deal with this. But at least you have the Heat podcast every day and the Heat newsletter every day. Check out Locked On Heat podcast. Also go to LockedOnDaily.com, get the free Heat newsletter. And then, of course, we are here free after every game. It's the postcast after the game on YouTube, Locked On Sports Miami. Anywhere you get your audio podcast, that means Spotify, that means Apple, that means iHeart, that means Stitcher, Podbean, anywhere you can follow us, you get those right there. And then, of course, you're down with OTT. Yeah, you know me. OTT, baby, over-the-top television with Roku. Until next time, my beloved Heat fan, my name is Jim Grieshaber. Call me Grease, Gries, at @JimGrease_ on social media, reminding you to always remember that we thank you dearly for being the best part of this network. And more importantly, keep your game tight and your mind right. 105-102 Charlotte beats Miami. The misery continues. We'll be here Wednesday on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team